Aquaman issue 53, Kelly Sue DeConnick writing with Robson Roca and Eduardo Pansica on the art. First thing I want to talk about actually is the art, because I feel like I like both of these artists. I think Pansica has been very good on Supergirl, a lot of Supergirl issues recently, and I could tell the difference between their pages. And what's funny is I think the art is a little bit hit and miss in this issue, but I don't think it's because one artist is better than the other. I think they both have their hit and miss pages. It's weird.
Yeah.
But they both have really good pages, and they both have mediocre pages, I guess I'll say.
And also there wasn't a whiplash, right? Of like, this art's so different. So I appreciated that for sure.
It was different enough that I could tell who was who, but not to the point where it was like disastrously annoying or anything like that.
No. So this story with Tristan Mara, I am here for this because, although I will say he's a little bit too much. He's a captain, but he's also a writer. But he might not so much be a writer as much as he was just writing down things he observed himself, which I think that's a fun twist on things.
Yeah, because they don't even try and hide it. He kind of says, "Yeah, I'm that monster that attacked your friend," and we get this backstory where when he was a kid, which was 200 plus years ago, because he keeps saying 200 years, and then he keeps correcting Aquaman and change 200 and change. We find out that he had like imaginary monster friends, except they might not be imaginary because they actually like did things. They'd push people over, hit their hats off. Although it was making me think, like, is it actually imaginary monster friends, or is it just telekinesis? Is it just how he's doing it in his head? Although the fact that he's actually turned into a giant monster now implies that there is some monstrous stuff going on at least.
Which and if you know Lovecraft, not that I'm an expert or anything, but this plays into that, is that he's slowly driven more mad by knowing that these things exist. And that by the time he tries to get away and start a new life in America, it doesn't go so well with his scary buddies, and they might be responsible for that. But I also did like I'm always a sucker for world building, and the fact that we're getting into Amnesty Bay and why he named it Amnesty, and put the lighthouse where it was, and I like all of that. And what that means for Aquaman is that like this place on the coast is a beckoning point. It draws people there, and that's why Mara ended up there. So I really like all that.
Yeah, and we also find out that he's basically been away at sea for all this time because he knows he's dangerous to civilization. So he's actually it's making me almost think it's like almost like a Hulk thing where he turns into the monster and he can't control himself. So he just stays away to sort of keep it on, at least stay away from anyone who could get hurt. And he accuses of Jackson of not saving the guy who died, and Aquaman gets very defensive of him, and it becomes this bit of a commotion. It's actually just as that's starting to get to a head though that. Yeah, because we find out the reason why he's back because Aquaman questions that. He says because I was summoned, and we don't know who summoned him, right? This is interesting. Thing.
But it has something to do with the gods being on that island.
Oh, absolutely.
That's when he showed up. So it almost makes me wonder if this is like a dark gods thing, and these are their opposites, which we kind of saw in Drowned Earth, which I wouldn't put it past Kelly Sue to try to tie that in. That you had these gods that were forbidden, pushed away, and whatnot, and not that he's one of those, but it's similar.
And it's just as this is coming to a head, and he's saying he was summoned, and whatnot. We get the Black Manta stuff coming in where he's driving the Mecha Manta or whatever it's called. I always forget the name. It's coming in to attack, and just as this is happening, of course, Mira shows up because the book actually starts with Mira and Atlantis, so saying that we have to go for blood because
someone is destroying their history.
Yeah, someone from the surface. So she gets to the beach, and we actually get our first moment where Mira and Arthur see each other. And Mira's all gun ho. She's all very angry, looking for a fight because of what's happened. And I love that as soon as she sees Arthur, she turns to Volko and says, "How's my hair?" It's this sort of thing. Like this is what he does to her immediately.
She melts. Yeah. She melts. So also the what happened with you and Mira? She killed me. Okay, well we're gonna go on past that. I like the way that was handled.
Yeah, we still have to deal with that. We have to deal with what happened exactly and get to it.
Yeah. So, But then the Manta attacks, you know, and that looked pretty cool with the when it pops up out of the water. It definitely got Godzilla Power Ranger vibes.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I'm guessing Ashley hit. This is some of the best Pansika pages actually. I love the panel at the bottom of the next page where it's just a close up of Mira's face and her eyes light up because she's about to go to town. Really like that. That reminded me of his Supergirl work. Just those strong shadows, all that kind of stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, and you know, we get the big doom symbol in the sky at the end because the dog's looking up. So we get kind of the bullshit. It almost feels like the Black Manta stuff is kind of like this forced thing because of the doom stuff, but it is also exactly what brought Mira and Arthur together again. So I think she's doing a good job of interweaving it, even though it's kind of separate from the actual monster plot and, you know, this you know, Lovecraftian stuff that we're doing. But hey, it feels like an Aquaman book, and that's nice.
Yeah. But no, I thought it was handled well here. You see the doom signal in the dog's eye, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah, it looks good.
But yeah, it's good. That's what Aquaman has been since Kelly's just taken over. I really look forward to this book. This is the last one that I read this week. Like I was saving it. So yeah, it keeps up its quality.
Honestly, yeah, it was the surefire hit for me this week because Batman, of course, has been up and down. Justice League sometimes can be too wordy for me. You know, Metal Men and Tales from the Dark Multiverse were both kind of unknown quantities. So this was the one that was like, hey, I know I'm going to like this. I know this is going to be good because it's been good consistently. So that's like 153. What you rating it?
I'm gonna give this one an 8.
8.
I mean, the art's a bit spotty, keeping it from going higher, but I really liked the contents and how it's effortlessly bringing in, you know, the Mara story, the Manta story, the Mara story, all this other stuff. I don't feel like it's too much, which can seem like a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna go just a nudge higher and say 8.5 for this one. I think for me.
Yeah.